Mr. Scales, this is actually a quote as seen from Krishnamurti that a god or something that's basically of a kind of existentialist of a higher meaning, or basically like conflagration of meaning, or just the idea of escapism itself, the idea of just escapism itself, or just escape, or basically kind of like this idea itself, or detachment itself, or this idea that there's the idea of just this escape itself. It's just who is escaping though? Who is escaping? That's pretty much it. The one is basically afraid of basically sitting, even though it's basically the one that's basically creating that thing itself. That's basically it. Krishnamurti. In a sense, the wanting or longing of freedom, to be honest. My state in this now, to be honest with you guys, I freaking haven't freaking sleep though. Not well in specifically just this freaking day though. And become like kind of like, I don't know what state, kind of like groggy, groggy-ish, not groggy to be honest. That's pretty much it. It's kind of odd, but basically pretty much it. Pretty much it. Not groggy, but in a sense you have like a weird clarity. Before just taking this fucking like stupid pills, to be honest, dude, and this I just basically have money because oh my gosh, you have like a fucking like a psychosocial disability or something, fucking like therapist, fucking brain rot, to be honest, dude. That's basically just labeling them as basically like unwell or well, which is just basically the most fucking funniest thing ever, to be honest, dude. In the context of a joke and a mockery of that person as well. Oh my gosh, you're unwell, or you're well and unwell there. Absolutely, you have no use in society or something. That's not like important, to be honest, though. It's a mockery, to be honest, though. It's a jest, nudge, to will. I remember just basically like a one thing Sleep has said in this channel, to be honest, dude. But I've seen like far much better than it would become more freaking like viril, or basically like I'm freaking like freaking in vitality, to be honest, dude. I thought before is basically like bugging me out. They're just gone, to be honest, dude. I'm freaking free, to be honest. It's basically in the state of just absolutely fucking freedom, and it's just energetic. Or just you feel that basically the nervous system's calm down. It's just so good. And not in a sense it's basic. Not in a sense it's basically like it is safe, but not in a context it's basically like fucking like mental health coping. But in a sense it's just so good. Remember this, remember this, my guys, though. What is basically the perfect world in the eyes of God, though? This world itself is basically not really like freaking, you know. But to be honest, in a sense there, and I kind of like basically an idea on Taoism itself that's basically kind of like against, not really against, but basically like Confucianism is basically the social fucking roles and just enforcement of basically of a people, when basically like basically in nature, people is just natural, to be honest, just absolutely unbothered by basically like freaking like fake facade of righteousness or just basically fake virtue. And ironically, they are just much more kind and just natural, to be honest, in a context of just freedom, to be honest, dude. It's kind of like the idea of Menji itself there about the trees, to be honest, there in this forest. Basically, there's basically people basically said about this idea itself that is basically like in psychology or freaking something. I don't know what's this called, like basically like pseudoscience psychology or something, to be honest, dude. Pseudoscience psychology, to be honest, dude. Is basically this idea itself that basically This kind of like tongue-in-cheek idea itself of freaking like the darkers don't make your heroes, or the darker side of your hero, the darker side of the hero. So basically or the true nature of a person there, more like just basically like a reptilian freaking psyop, to be honest, there, that basically just demerits the freaking like value, they demerit human kindness and compassion, and just basically just basically just reductionize them, or just actually in logic, utility. That's just basically humanity itself, instead of love, and basically like love, compassion, and kindness, which is literally the truest nature of humanity itself. That's the truest nature of humanity there. About in a nutshell, in a nutshell, a person itself, just basically just outside their home, and just start helping people, and basically outside their his parents itself is basically like, oh my gosh, you're a freaking like retarded or stupid person itself there. Why are you helping like other people, why not us? And unironically itself there, this idea of menshi itself there is basically like the circumstances or the environment of a person there is freaking hell, dude. This is basically not really hell, but he's not really like exposed himself. Where basically a person itself outside, not outside, but basically inside the house itself is just basically kind of like inert and such, but really outside he can literally express himself. Basically the freaking like, I don't know, just basically the freaking like mental health professional, or basically like brain dead health freaking professionals, more like it, to be honest. This is basically the contrary, or basically the freaking like his parents like knew him inside, but actually it's the freaking reverse, dude. This actually is the reverse, actually, dude. Actually the reverse, or basically a person inside a person, or basically a person itself is just basically can actually express himself without basically the limitation of freaking like family or familial garbage, which is familial garbage, or basically home or shelter. It's just basically a prison. They just get they or this freaking things called parents itself, not things, but basically this individual called parents itself basically conceive you in this realm, gave you a freaking fake name, gave you a fake alias, let you go to freaking like an indoctrination camp, let you work on a job, like you work on a freaking like slavery, to be honest. It's just basically a freaking person, to be honest, dude. They are not safe here, and they are not safe here in their shelter, more like a freaking cage, to be honest, dude. That's basically it. That's absolutely a contrary itself there. A person can express himself outside the freaking hell or house. Well, it's well, because this just basically their true nature itself. Yeah, there's actually this basically said that basically this codependent or such, but in a codependent or such. But in a nutshell itself, a person can express more of himself. The ego will think in codependent stuff, but the person itself is just or the spirit see it as a the spirit see it actually though the spirit actually see it in basically this thing, and this mental health, mental health thing is basically they think itself that basically the mind is the person, the mind needs to be fixed, if the mind has a mental illness, but the spirit is literally beyond that freaking thing, so why freaking bother? And the unconscious of a person or subconscious is not the freaking person. Why freaking bother unless the freaking thing does not exist at the first freaking place? It's like quantum mechanics. If you see the freaking thing, it exists, of course, though. It exists, of course, but If observed, it exists, but it's not. If not, no. That's it. That's it. That's basically it. To be honest, dude. Freedom, freedom itself is just basically a liberation outside this book, or basically kind of like this idea of Stern's books. To be honest, dude. This is the most unironic thing, to be honest, dude. Society actually thinks a person itself is just basically, um, oh my gosh, you're being like egoistic, selfish is a bad thing. But unironically itself, they're freaking like society is just teaching you to be freaking small, to be small, and that's the freaking issue, to be honest, dude. Or unironically, like labeling someone like freaking like narcissistic, or some narcissistic, or just mislabeling someone as narcissistic, or freaking like, I don't know, their head is big or something. But to be honest, they're basically the people that actually honest they're really just freaking insecure as freaking heck, or just freaking weak specifically, weak specifically, or just, oh please just be obedient to us. There, you're freaking selfish. We will label you as selfish. You just basically just conform to us. To be honest, dude, society just wants you to be a freaking slave. To be honest, dude, in a sense, like forget the freaking existence of this freaking society or whatever, dude, and be a person that you freaking want to be there. Be a person that's kind, that does not see society, but basically person as freaking person, not person as tools or numbers or even freaking names or ideation, and see them as their freaking word. That's freaking it, dude. Freedom. It's just guess out.